Andy, first of all, how's the ankle? What are you doing to manage the problem? How bad is it playing through the pain, and are you stuck with it for the rest of the season?
4 questions rolled into one. That's a
Get
good
them all
start.
in at once, mate.
Yeah. No, look, it's been better, to be fair. Just a bit stiff after matches, but it's something that I can manage with, and something that I'm quite happy with. And it's slightly painful, but if you don't have any pain and the amount of games we've played, then I suppose maybe you're doing something wrong. So all the lads are managing stuff, and we're all good. So I feel good. I feel fresh, and hopefully that continues.
Obviously, it's been entertaining with the late goals that end up winning the games at the moment, but the boss has emphasised the need for clean sheets. What's the difference? What's compared to last season? Why do you think you are conceding those goals that possibly you weren't at this stage last season?
It's a good question, and probably one we can't quite put our finger on. And some of the goals we've conceded have been of high quality, and some of them have been poor from us. So it is important that we get back to clean sheets, because they're the ones that we're good at, and then it obviously lets the attackers go and do what they do. And if you're conceding in games, then we can't, like you said, we can't always rely on scoring late or coming from behind or whatever. So it'd be nice to get back to the clean sheets, and we believe that we're in a position that we can do that, and hopefully that's starting tomorrow night.
You're challenging on 5 fronts still. Obviously tomorrow could see you through to the knockout phase as group winners as well. I just wonder how you all feel as a group that you're effectively having to choose between the League Cup and the World Club Cup.
I think for us it's when we look at it, it's sort of a compliment, because we look back on it and it shows you it's the reason we've got all these fronts is because we've been successful. And if you'd ask me, would I swap my Champions League winners medal for less fixtures? Then absolutely not. So for me, the fixtures are it's credit to us, and it's because of our success, and that's something that we've got to look at. We've got to take the positives. Of course, not playing 2 games in 24 hours isn't ideal, and however the manager's going to deal with that, then that's fine. And but we've got 2 big competitions, and hopefully in the 2 squads that we put out, then both of them will be strong enough to try and see us through. But if not, then it's a consequence of not being able to fit enough games in. But we believe that any team that goes out is good enough to win the games, and that's what we've got to be aiming to do for the 2 ones especially.
Just to come back to your ankle, Andy, how are you managing it? What sort of things do you have to do or not do, I suppose?
I think the lads would say I've been in the treatment room probably too much, to be honest. I think the physios are sick of treating me, but look, it's just trying to get it going. It just takes a wee bit longer to loosen up in training, so maybe an extensive warm-up, going out a wee bit earlier and things like that. So it just gets it going, and then it feels okay. Once it gets going, it's fine. It's just a bit of stiffness now, unfortunately, because not enough time to rest it. But like, it's fine for me. In games it feels the best, because you probably get half an hour to warm up instead of maybe 10-15 minutes before training. So for me it's all good, and in games it feels good, and that's all that matters for me.
In terms of, do you sometimes have to be told to sort of pull it back again? Because I have a funny feeling you'd probably just play through and grin and bear it. So
yeah, look, sometimes sometimes I do, and for me, I get paid to play games, and I get paid to train, and I don't want to miss training all the lads are the same. We don't want to miss any training sessions, we don't want to miss any games, and sometimes Genk at home's probably the best example for me. I wanted to play, but the manager had made his mind up that I was only going to play one of the Aston Villa or the Genk game, and he chose Aston Villa. So but it's all about managing. Happened with Mo at the weekend there. Mo would have wanted to desperately play, but for him it was best to have an extra couple of days rest. So we all want to play, we all want to play games, but unfortunately sometimes it's not quite possible, and sometimes people need to step in to tell you otherwise, and you need to respect that.
I know you're confident in your own abilities, and rightly so, but is there almost a fear that by missing out someone can come in and take your place and you don't get back in? Is that how it works? Or
I'm not sure it's a fear, but we know we have a top quality squad, and everyone that's maybe not playing as much can easily come into that squad and not kick somebody out, but come in and do a good job. I think you see it from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, perfect example. He's came in and done fantastic, and he's now, he started against Palace and he's doing well for England. So, he's back, and he's back pushing everyone. So that's what our squad is like. Everyone's pushing each other, and it's not quite a fear, but it's something that for me, I just don't want to miss games. I like playing football, and I like being out in the big stage, and for me, sitting up in the stands no good for me, and it's no good for probably my heart and stuff like that. So I much prefer being on the pitch than off it.
Okay, David?
Andy, you've spoken about obviously the fixture backlog and the little injury that you're carrying at the moment. Does that give you a little bit of an extra incentive tomorrow to win, maybe knowing that the Salzburg game would effectively then be a dead rubber, and that gives Jurgen an opportunity to make some changes possibly?
Look, for us, we don't think about, of course, the Salzburg game. Nothing could change if we do win tomorrow night, but we just think that we want to qualify for the last 16. I don't think anyone's thinking, okay, win tomorrow and I don't need to go to Salzburg, or win tomorrow and I don't need to play. We don't think like that. We just think that by winning tomorrow, we have qualified with an extra game week to go, which is something that I've not done since we've been here. We've always went down to the last day, so that'd be nice to change that. And that's what our aim and goal is for tomorrow. So we don't think ahead that far. And if we do have, the manager does have the luxury where he can pick and choose who he wants to play in the game week 6, then so be it. But that's down to us. Have done our job beforehand. So that's what we've got to aim to do.
Okay, just pass it over to the gentleman at the back over there, please. We need the headphones.
Hello, I'm from Channel 21. Now, doubtless you're aware of the difficulties encountered by Napoli at the moment. Your fellow players, but from Napoli, refused to go on the training camp. They're now being disciplined by the club. What sort of Napoli do you think will turn up tomorrow at Anfield on the pitch? Do you think it's going to be a Napoli that is really stressed out psychologically, or do you think it's going to be a team that's going to be really strong and draw inspiration? I mean, how would you deal with this kind of situation if it were to happen to you?
For me, I don't know. I've not read much into what's been going on at Napoli, but it's obviously came to my attention the last couple of days. But for me, they have a job to do. They have a job to try and get into the last 16 of the Champions League, and by getting a positive result tomorrow, they would take a massive step towards that. So, for me, I think that's all forgotten about, and as a team they will want to get to the last 16 because it helps them, and it's something they didn't manage to do last season. So I think they'll be aiming to do that, and obviously we were the ones that stopped them from doing it last season, so they want to be able to get slight bit of revenge, but for me it makes no difference. They'll be all together, and they'll want to win the game for themselves, more importantly, instead of what's going on around their club just now.
Okay, Neil?
Andy, obviously, Napoli quite well over the last couple of years. What is it that makes them such a difficult team to face?
Yeah, I think their manager's a very good one. Tactically, and the way they play and the way they set up is very good, and that's down to him. But also they have top quality players, and that's probably why the games against us have been so close. But we know that we can cause anyone problems as well, and it's up to us to be at 100% tomorrow night, and if we do, then I believe we'll cause them problems. Whether it's enough remains to be seen, but I believe if we're at 100% and we're firing on all cylinders, then we can beat anyone, and Napoli are no different to that. So hopefully we can produce a performance that we can be proud of, and we can hopefully get the 3 points, because like you said, we know what's at stake, and we know what happens if we get the 3 points. So that's got to be our drive for tomorrow night.
Okay, any final questions for Andy? Chris there.
Hi, it's Andy. I don't know if you can hear me here. But this is a bit of an eye. 12 wins out of 13. That Liverpool actually aren't even hitting this stride yet. Did you buy into that idea that you're actually not even at your best yet, and yet in this unbelievable position?
I don't. I'm not really buying into it, because we've found ways to win, and we've been going right to the end, and we've been putting in special performances in different ways. Some games, if I thought against Man City and Tottenham, we played, unbelievable, but then against, say, for instance, Aston Villa or Crystal Palace, we had to dig deep, and we didn't play our best, but we had to dig deep and find a way to win. So that's what we've been so good at. In the Premier League, we've got 37 points, so we can't really moan about anything. But we're a team that try to strive for perfection, and that's not always possible. But if we keep striding towards that, then we'll get there. And if people say we haven't hit our heights, then hopefully that comes, because that'll be nice when that happens. And hopefully, like we've touched on with clean sheets and stuff, it'd be nice to get more of them, and then hopefully get a couple more comfortable wins, because the 90-minute winners aren't doing anything. I think the fans would love a game where they can just sit down for the last 10 minutes or whatever and enjoy it, but we've not quite managed to produce that in a while. So hopefully we can get back to doing that as well, because we want them to come enjoy it, not be biting their nails right up to the 93rd and 94th minute.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.